Mbappé at Real Madrid, what's going wrong? Kylian Mbappé was, without a doubt, the name most anticipated by Real Madrid fans in recent years. After seasons of speculation, he finally arrived at the Santiago Bernabéu to fulfill his childhood dream of wearing the white shirt. The transfer was surrounded by excitement, sky-high expectations, and even debates about the impact he would have on the team. However, the reality has been very different. We are talking about a player who, at Paris Saint-Germain, reigned supreme. He was the owner of the team, the main star, the center of attention. At Real Madrid, however, things have not gone as expected. Is Mbappé really living a nightmare at the club of his dreams? Expectations and reality. When we talk about expectations, it is impossible not to remember how Florentino Pérez worked hard to bring Mbappé to Real Madrid. The president saw in the French player the opportunity to relive the glorious days of the Galacticos. He would be the new face of the club, the man to lead the next generation. Fans also expected Mbappé to bring back European hegemony. After all, we are talking about a world champion, a player who has already won several national titles in France and who, individually, is among the best of the moment. But expectations can be treacherous. Since his arrival, Mbappé has had difficulty adapting to Real Madrid's style of play. He has ceased to be the central reference of the team, something he had at PSG, and has started to share the spotlight with other players, especially Vinicius Jr. And here is the first point of discussion: did Real Madrid really have room for two great attacking stars? Of course, the talent of both is undeniable, but the numbers don't lie. At PSG, Mbappé played in the position that gave him the most freedom, left wing. He received balls in depth, used his speed and finished masterfully. At Real Madrid, he was moved to centre forward, and the impact was immediate. The numbers don't lie. So far, Mbappé has scored just 8 goals in 16 matches. For any ordinary player, that would be an impressive number, but we're talking about Mbappé. At PSG, he had a higher average, and his performances were much more impactful. Could Carlo Ancelotti's scheme be harming the Frenchman's performance? This is a debate that divides fans. Some believe that Mbappé is still in the process of adapting and that, with time, he will find his place in the team. Others say that Ancelotti should adjust the game system to better exploit the player's qualities. What do you think? Is Real Madrid taking full advantage of Mbappé's potential? The heavy criticism. The criticism hasn't helped either. Important figures in French football, such as Christophe Dugarry, have not minced words when describing Mbappé's performance as mediocre. Not to mention the internal discussions at Real Madrid, where even Florentino Pérez has reportedly expressed dissatisfaction with the player's performance. Of course, at clubs like Real Madrid, pressure is part of the package. When a player costs as much as Mbappé and arrives with such high expectations, the fans and the board expect immediate results. And, so far, these results have not come. But are the criticisms fair? Or does Mbappé deserve more time to adapt? The Vinicius Jr. factor. Another important point in this story is the relationship with Vinicius Jr. The Brazilian, who has been one of Real Madrid's best players in recent years, occupies exactly Mbappé's preferred position. As a result, the Frenchman has been forced to play in a position where he does not feel so comfortable. And this raises another question: are Real Madrid sacrificing Mbappé's performance to keep Vinicius as the star player? Or could the solution be to find a way for both to shine together? In recent games, we've seen Vinicius deciding matches while Mbappé has looked lost on the pitch. The fans, of course, have already started to make comparisons, and this could be further damaging the Frenchman's confidence. What's next? Despite the difficulties, it's important to remember that Mbappé is still young. He's only 25 years old and has undeniable talent. Many players have taken time to adapt to Real Madrid before shining brightly. Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, needed an entire season to establish himself as the best player in the world at the club. But Real Madrid is not a club known for its patience. And that's the big question: will Mbappé have enough time to prove his worth? Meanwhile, Carlo Ancelotti and Florentino Pérez need to find a solution quickly. Whether it's adjusting the tactical scheme or changing Mbappe's role in the team, something needs to be done to prevent this multi-million-dollar signing from turning into a historic failure. Vinicius Jr., Real Madrid's protagonist. While Mbappe is still trying to find his footing at Real Madrid, Vinicius Jr. has established himself as an indispensable part of the team. Since Cristiano Ronaldo's departure, Real Madrid have undergone a transition in search of a new identity. And it was precisely in this scenario that Vinicius shone. The Brazilian has not only overcome initial criticisms about his finishing and decision-making, but has also become the most decisive player in the squad. Last season, he scored crucial goals, stood out in big matches and demonstrated impressive maturity for someone so young. Today, at 24 years old, Vinicius is seen as the club's future but also as its present. This leads us to an inevitable question: did Real Madrid already have a leading player before Mbappe arrived? The coexistence of stars. Coexistence between elite players is never easy, especially when they both occupy similar positions on the pitch. Both Vinicius and Mbappe prefer the left wing, a position that allows them to exploit their speed, dribbling and finishing. However, Ancelotti decided to keep Vinicius in his original position and move Mbappe to the center of the attack. This decision, although logical from a tactical point of view, seems to have created an imbalance. While Vinicius continues to shine and be applauded by the fans, Mbappe has had difficulty adapting to a more central role. The Spanish press has already speculated about possible tensions between the two players, but so far, both have shown professionalism. The challenge is clear: how to fit two such brilliant stars into the same team without dulling the shine of either of them. Vinicius Jr.'s numbers. To understand Vinicius' impact on Real Madrid, all you need to do is look at his numbers. Last season, he scored 23 goals and provided 21 assists in all competitions. And the most impressive thing is that many of those goals came at decisive moments, such as in the Champions League and in derbies against Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. This season, he has already started on the right foot, racking up important goals and assists. While Mbappe is struggling to find consistency, Vinicius seems to be at the peak of his physical and technical form. This reinforces the idea that Real Madrid perhaps didn't need another player to be the protagonist. The relationship with Mbappe. Despite not having played together for long, Vinicius and Mbappe have not yet developed perfect chemistry on the pitch. And that's natural. Great duos in football, such as Cristiano Ronaldo and Benzema or Messi and Suarez, took time to understand each other. In the case of Vinicius and Mbappe, the problem seems to be more about positioning than a lack of understanding. Both have styles that rely heavily on freedom of movement. When one of them has to sacrifice their natural space, their performance tends to suffer. On the other hand, Vinicius has shown great maturity in accepting the challenge of playing alongside Mbappe. He remains the same explosive and decisive player, but now he has to share the spotlight. This is something he seems to be handling better than the Frenchman. Vinicius' future at Real Madrid. At just 24 years old, Vinicius has everything to become one of the greatest players in Real Madrid's history. He is already being compared to icons such as Raúl and even Cristiano Ronaldo, especially for the impact he has in big matches. What makes Vinicius special is his ability to thrive under pressure. He is not intimidated in important games and seems to feed off the energy of the fans. His technical development is also remarkable. Today, he is a complete player, fast, skillful, with excellent vision of the game and a finishing ability that has improved considerably in recent years. With Mbappe by his side, the expectation is that the two will form one of the most feared duos in world football. But for that to happen, it will be necessary to find a balance. Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe, rivalry or partnership? The big question hanging over Real Madrid is whether Vinicius and Mbappe can coexist as two equally brilliant stars. For many, the answer is yes, but this will require tactical adjustments and, more importantly, a team mentality from both players. Vinicius seems to be more comfortable with a shared role, while Mbappe is still struggling to find his place in the team. However, if the two can complement each other, Real Madrid could be on the cusp of a golden era. Imagine an attacking line with Vinicius, Mbappe and Rodrigo, all in top form. It's a daunting scenario for any opponent. But to achieve this, both the coach and the players will need to be willing to make sacrifices.